Hello and welcome to Guildhall. Once again, we are sitting here in the wonderful, wonderful exhibition hall, which holds the members show, the 75th anniversary. And I'm here with the woman in charge of all these sorts of things, the wonderful, extraordinary curator of Guildhall, Christina Strassfeld. Welcome to your own gallery.
Thanks, Michelle.
So I drove by the other day and my little girl says to me, "Mom, what is that crazy sculpture in front of Guildhall?" And she said, "It looks like a bunch of screws or nails." And now that's a John Chamberlain?
It's a John Chamberlain sculpture, and we're so excited. It's on loan to us from the Gagosian Gallery, and it'll be here through December 31st. It's called Mermaid's Mischief, and it's over 12 feet tall. And it's made of aluminum, colored aluminum, and we are thrilled to have it. It just came back from Florida. It was at the Seagram's building in New York, and we will have it to grace the front of Guildhall.
Wow, right through nearly Christmas or
Absolutely,
after?
right after Christmas.
Oh, that'll cheer things up, and it's even green.
It's totally
you can
green.
Light it up.
It's lit up at
we
night.
We don't need a tree.
And I think it's just sort of a wonderful, whimsical piece of sculpture. Not what you traditionally think of as John Chamberlain's, because everyone always associates the car crashes and those great pieces. But this piece is a little bit different. He did it late in his life, in the 70s, for his 70th birthday. They had these little aluminum foil pieces that were then enlarged to make full-scale sculptures.
Wow. He recently passed away.
Yes, in 2011.
Yeah. So we miss his energy out here. He was based in Shelter Island, I believe.
Island,
yes.
that's right.
So you have so much on the agenda. Tell us about what's starting. Is it the Artists and Writers exhibition of all who participated, if I understand it right?
That's right. It's celebrating, it's their 65th anniversary of the game. And so it's
They're
really
just a little younger than the members show here.
That's right. We're celebrating our 75th for the member show, 83rd for Guildhall. So they're newbies on the block.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful because they've been part of the community just as Guildhall has been part of the community, and they give back to the community as well. So we wanted to celebrate all of the wonderful artists who've participated over the years, from Franz Klein and de Kooning and Pollock, all the way Eric Ernst, Eric Fischel, Laurie Singer, just a great group of people. Randy Rosenthal,
so
Dan Weldon. Terrific group.
Yeah.
And also the writers, Kurt Vonnegut, George Plimpton, Carl Bernstein. It's just an amazing, amazing group, and they get together regularly. They do this on an annual basis, and the funds that are raised help human resources organizations.
You've even had Bill Clinton, right?
Absolutely.
I wonder if he'll be gracing our opening.
Wouldn't it be great? We're going to have a signed book by him, and also a letter that he wrote in honor of one of the anniversaries for the Artists and Writers game.
And this is being put together, I understand, by my dear friend Leif Hope and Elena Prohaska-Glenn and others, I'm sure, have been very involved. So that's exciting. And then I hear you've got my great friend and great conversationalist, John Alexander.
Yes, I've wanted to do a John Alexander show for years, and so I'm so excited because he's going to be showing some recent work for the last couple of years, and a piece that's actually going to be hot off the studio walls. I don't believe it's even finished quite yet. So we're really thrilled. It's going to be a George Washington crossing the Delaware in his usual sort of theatrical way, where he has a little bit of nuances and sort of satire and humor and a little bit of everything in John's work.
Some masks and some villains, and it sounds a little Larry Rivers-like.
Absolutely. You know, I never thought about that, but it does sound a little like what Larry did, and sort of that little twist and sort of giving it back to the audience. So that's definitely John.
Yeah, and he's going to be here for a conversation, right?
He will. We're so excited about that. He's going to be speaking, and he'll be up on the stage, and he'll be answering questions, and it'll be a chance
with his Texas drawl. He is Mr. Charm.
He certainly is. He certainly is.
Yeah, he's a legend. And we have a lot of wonderful artists, it seems, here from Texas. Now you've got Joel Perlman.
Yes, again, a really wonderful opportunity to show Joel Perlman's work in the Sculpture Garden. He's going to have 5 major pieces there, and he'll be also showing a number of pieces in our Wasserstein Family Gallery. And you know, his work, again, it spans a lifetime. He's just been so committed, a great artist, and I think a lot of people may not know Joel's work, so I'm really happy that we're going to be able to introduce it to a larger public.
Yes, that's fantastic. I think you're right. We need to know more about him. And then Chuck close, of course, we all know and love. He'll be here in conversation with Robert Storr.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's in store for us?
It's so exciting because Chuck Close, I did a show of his work in 1992 when I first became curator, and I was thrilled to work with him then, showing large-scale Polaroid works. And this time we're showing new tapestries and new felt prints that he's done. And Rob Storr is just a genius. You know, he's the dean of the Yale Art School.
Yes.
He was curator at MoMA. He taught at NYU, and we're thrilled to have him because he's written extensively on Chuck Close, and they're good friends. So their conversation will be very lively and I'm sure very informative.
And you get all these great curators. You just had the curator from the Whitney here for this show that we're sitting in the middle of.
That's right, Elizabeth Sussman, who actually curated the 1993 and the 2012 biennial, was the person who was the awards judge this year. And it was just such a pleasure to have her come in, and she took a lot of time, looked at these amazing works, and again was honoring the people, the artists of our community, saying how fascinated she was that this was sort of a non-juried show, and also the level of the artists' works here. So it's a great honor to have her here, and we're really thrilled with it. And I'm thrilled with Stephanie Brody-Letterin winning the top honors award and getting a one-person show.
It's so fantastic.
Wonderful artist.
And we only have a few more seconds, actually. Are there any other people you want to quickly mention?
I do want to say that we're having a book signing with Eric Fischel. His new book, Bad Boy, will be here. And so you could see Eric. He'll be talking with Phyllis Tuckman, the art critic.
It's called Bad Boy?
Bad Boy, after his famous painting, which is now in the museum in Australia.
Yeah, that's the kind of real erotic.
Absolutely, the early,
a big surprise.
Early Fischel.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that'll be really exciting because I think the book is very revealing about his history, his past, and a lot of nuances about the art world, some that we may have known and a lot that we didn't know
we
about.
want to know his secrets.
Yes.
He has all of them. Everyone goes to Eric and just spills the beans, and he's been zipped the lip up until now.
That's right.
We're going to find out.
We are. And he's just another wonderful artist
Yeah.
and a really interesting person to talk to.
Such a fun guy. Yeah. So have we basically covered it?
I think
for
we've
now?
covered the.
Or at least scratch the surface?
We scratched the surface because there's some wonderful talks as well
Thank
that are going
you.
to go along with the artists and writers.
Thank you, Christina. Well, you're the best, and you bring in all the big deals, all the heavyweights, and we thank you. Keep on rocking.
Thanks so much.
I'm sitting here with Ruth Appelhoff, and it's always my great pleasure to hear about what they have cooked up for the summer. And we're about to hear about all the things you have to drop everything so that you can participate in.
Right.
So Ruth, it's
Hi,
a very
Michelle.
exciting summer, and it's great to
great
see
for
you.
us.
You're looking spectacular as
Thank
always.
you. Thank you very much. We
Rested
really
up for the summer?
Well, of course, but we
Yes.
really have. I know I say this every year, but this year it is the best year ever. It's amazing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it really happened because there were so many people in the community that helped us get this great talent
Really?
here. So for every great performance that will be here this summer, there are several people behind the scenes that made it happen.
I bet. People who either live here,
Yeah.
weekend here, summer here, and it all comes together
Yeah.
as a team.
Right, right.
Which
a
you
lot
are.
of people that are on shared boards, our board and another board, and
Yes.
you know, that really have helped us. So
Well, look at us with LTV and Guildhall, how we collaborate on so many things.
and thank you for that. It's been great.
We love it. We love it. We're
I do too.
partners.
I do too.
So tell us what's happening first on your agenda that you're most excited about sharing with us.
Well, thank you. The first thing I wanted to talk about just briefly is the Hamptons Institute.
Oh.
And for people that don't know about it, because it's still new, this is our third year.
Yeah. It's a little like TED Talks, I always
Yes,
think,
it's TED
right?
Talks, yes.
Or the Aspen
Panel.
Institute, yes.
Yeah, or the Aspen Institute. And in
Yes.
fact, we actually stole the idea from the Aspen Institute. They were very gracious and didn't complain. But anyway.
Which
we've-
Walter Isaacson now
That's
heads,
right.
I believe, who was honored this year
That's
at your
right.
gala.
Yeah,
So it all
lovely
comes
man.
around. What a lovely guy,
Yeah.
yes.
So our Hamptons Institute is on June 15th,
Yes.
one day. It's a Saturday.
Just one day.
one day. And we have some of the most amazing people coming to talk about various topics that we all are concerned about. and want to learn more about, but very rarely do we have enough time to even read a newspaper about it.
Yeah,
So-
and we want to get in this
Yeah,
conversation.
right.
Right, so
And
we have a chance.
Our
yeah.
audience is part of the conversation. So when they come, if they have a
Exactly.
question, they can ask it. There's an opportunity to hobnob with the speakers afterwards. We have a reception following. So there's a lot of one-to-one conversations that can be had. Our first panel is on education. And a young woman whose name is Jackie Adams, she was a CBS correspondent for several years, has organized this, and it's about all of the issues around around education and how people are now looking at charter schools. Is that better? Is the curriculum suitable? Do we need to test teachers? All of those very important questions
Is
will be brought
testing
up.
important?
Right.
I know you can take courses like at Harvard online
Yeah,
now. Things are
right.
changing. Are there going to be
Completely.
classrooms in the future?
Yeah, yeah.
It's is it necessary to get liberal arts education? There's so
At
much.
all, that's right.
So,
That's right.
yeah,
And
very
one of
timely.
the people on that education panel is someone from our community, from
Oh.
East Hampton, Priscilla Campbell, who is one of the finest teachers in the United States. And we're
Oh,
just so lucky to have her here teaching our kids and now on this panel talking about how she does it.
Well, take a day away from the beach
Right.
and fill your head
Right.
instead of your skin with sun, the head with all sorts of interesting educational facts.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
we have two other panels. One is on climate change.
Yes.
And it's called After Sandy, which
Oh,
I
yes.
think is kind of a wonderful, poignant title. We're bringing in professors and scientists from Columbia University who are in the Earth Institute there. And they're going to be discussing what is going to happen after Sandy. What do we have to look forward to, worry about, and especially out here, of course, on the East End, we're so vulnerable to the climate that I think this is going to be particularly important for people. And the third panel is actually one on China and the economic relationship between the United States and China.
So tell me about some of your other benefits and galas.
Right. Well, we have a number of them, as ever, and this summer we're very, very excited about them. The first one is July 6th, and it's Audra McDonald, who was
mark
the
your
star
calendar.
of Porgy and Bess.
Oh,
She's
my
amazing.
gosh.
In
She's
fact,
amazing.
I saw her on PBS last night. She did a
Yes.
big concert at Lincoln Center recently. It was wonderful. So she's
She
coming
has
here.
one of the most magical,
Yeah.
charismatic ways on stage of anyone to come along in many decades, I think.
They
She's-
say that she has one of the most powerful voices in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
And she's just stunning to look
Yeah,
at.
isn't she?
So we're doing the concert here on the John Drew Theater. And then we're going off to a beautiful dinner just up the street on Dunemere. A very lovely tented dinner. So we're hoping that people will sign up and
What
join
an
us for that.
evening.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And they can all meet
supporting-
Audra,
Yeah.
and talk to her and be part of the program that evening.
That's
So
fantastic.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then following that, we have the Clothesline Art Sale.
Yes.
Now, that is on August 3rd. It's always the first Saturday in August. And
The
that
deals
brings,
people get there. And the people
Yes.
online around the block.
I know
it's
it, yeah. That's
Truly.
true.
And people, their entire homes sometimes are just decorated beautifully from this artwork.
Yeah. Thousands of artists, thousands of works of art. And I know there are many other art fairs out here, but this is the one where you can get the best bargains.
You're not
So
kidding.
I'm encouraging people to come to
Rain
that.
or
It's
shine,
all day,
right?
rain or shine,
Yes.
on Saturday, August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Yeah, and then the next one coming up is our wonderful summer gala. And this year we're honoring Chuck Close. We're doing a wonderful show of all of his new work here in the galleries.
And he's going to be in conversation on
Yes.
stage one day. I
Yeah,
know we just
yeah.
talked about that with
That's
Christina.
Right. That's right. The Saturday after the opening, August 10th, he'll be here. So the 9th will be this gorgeous gala, not only here meeting Chuck and seeing all his new work, which is spectacular, but also we're invited to Len Riggio, Louise and Len Riggio's beautiful home in Bridgehampton.
Oh my.
You know, it's just a spectacular home, and they are so gracious to invite us to come there for a big tented dinner, and you know, all of the exciting accoutrements, and including a magical auction that has been so fantastic every year that we can't quite believe it. But
yes, I can only imagine what's auctioned off here in the Hamptons.
Oh yeah.
And then
well, it's all art. It's all art.
it's all art.
Yes.
I see. Okay, from artists of the Hamptons of
That's
note.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And then lastly, is it the garden
Yes,
as
the
art?
Garden is Art is
Yes.
August 23rd and 24th.
Oh, just
And-
before Labor Day,
Yep,
always.
always.
Yes.
And this year we have a great lineup. It's amazing.
I know.
We've got people, well, and I have to say thank you to Michelle because she's on our committee.
Thank you. I'm
Wonderful.
enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
a newbie, but I'm learning the
Oh,
ropes.
you're great. You're
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So
It's
we
wonderful.
have a cocktail party at the Ryan's home, and we get to go into
Alice
their
Ryan.
studios. Yeah.
Wonderful artist and wonderful
Alice and
lady.
Alan
yes.
Ryan, and
And
they're-
Alan, oh, he's fantastic too.
Yeah, wonderful.
Such warm people.
Yeah, so that's on the 23rd, and the 24th we have a breakfast here, a lecture. Paul Goldberger is giving a lecture.
Oh, Paul Goldberger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And the theme is on houses and gardens and how they relate to each other. So we
Yes.
have panelists that are landscape architects and panelists that are architects, and they're all going to be kind of sharing with us all of their thoughts on that union, that we hope perfect
Yes.
union between the landscape and the
Yes.
home.
As it so often is in the Hamptons.
Yeah. And then a luncheon on the ocean
Yes.
for high-end donors, and also a wonderful tour of 5 gardens. And I have to put in a PS too, that in June, we're actually doing a kickoff for this program. So the kickoff
right,
will be
that's
at the Schulhofs,
Yes.
Paula and Mickey Schulhoff, in the most beautiful garden you have ever seen.
I have heard about this.
Yeah, so
Yes.
people that want to come to that, certainly all they have to do is call us.
What an experience. So the whole summer, if you do nothing else, just do everything that Ruth just lined up for you, and you will have the most spectacular, scintillating, extraordinary summer anyone can imagine, anywhere in America, I would imagine.
I certainly
Right?
agree with you, of course.
Thanks, Ruth, for making it happen.
My
It's
pleasure.
always so exciting to
Thank
see
you.
your gorgeous face and hear all you've been doing
Thank you, Michelle.
with your wonderful staff.
Love
Thank you
seeing
again.
Thank you.
All right. And now may I please welcome Josh Gladstone,
Hello.
the charismatic, scintillating man of Guildhall who runs everything theatrical here. And your title is,
I am the artistic director of the John Drew Theater at
Yeah.
Guildhall.
that's a big role.
Sure.
A lot rests on those broad shoulders of yours.
Yes, yes.
You have to create magic all year round.
I do.
Are you tired?
Am I tired?
Yes.
Do I look tired? I was up
No.
late last night.
Didn't you have
I
a
watched
big
it.
opening night last night?
Well, last night was our first preview.
Okay.
And our actual opening night, you threw me when you said opening night.
Oh,
Our
okay.
actual opening
Don't
night
wanna make
for
you
Cripple
nervous.
of Inishmaan by Martin McDonough is this Saturday.
Okay.
So yes, the previews though look very good, and the show's really coming together, and they got a standing ovation, and that was wonderful. They were so if they're doing that well in previews, I
Yeah.
think when they've had a few more performances put together, it'll really be it'll be terrific on Saturday. So
Yeah.
The cast is an equity cast. Professionals, many of whom are connected to East Hampton, some of whom are brought in from the city. They have a number of Broadway credits racked up between them, and they're really doing a good job. And the audience is right on the stage as they were last year for Uncle Vanya that Steve also directed.
Yes.
And you really feel when Slippery Helen is about to beat up Cripple Billy, yeah, you feel you're about to get the punch right yourself. You're right in the, so it's very energized, very sexy, very playful, a lot of cursing, a lot of drinking, a lot of laughs, but also a lot of heartbreak. It's a great play.
It's
One of 2 that we're doing this summer.
one of 2, and it is it's based in the western coast of Ireland. Is
Yes,
that true?
the islands
Yeah.
of Western Ireland in the 1930s.
Wow.
Around the time that they made a film called The Man of Arran.
Yes.
And so the story is that these remote islanders hear of the filming on a nearby island, and Cripple Billy decides he's going to take his opportunity to escape and go off to America and be in the film. So, so the story sort of unfolds from there, and it's a beautiful play.
Does it give you a little bit of a feeling of living on an island out in a remote area the way we do?
It feels a little claustrophobic, yes. It feels a little
yeah.
rural and rustic.
Right,
Yeah, I think
and like
they've done-
everyone knows your business out here.
Oh,
and
it's all
the same
about
thing.
gossip. It's all
Yeah.
about that. Yep. You have a
Right.
character named Johnny Patine Mike, played by Tuck Milligan, and he's the town gossip, and he lives off telling the news of others on the island, which includes deformed sheep being born and geese chasing cats, or more interesting news, and that's sort of a big part of the play. But it's a very small community, and it's played
Yes.
beautifully by a very handsome cast. Kristen
One
Lohman
thing,
from Sagaponack is in the cast, and
Who is that again?
Kristen Lohman is in the
Oh,
cast,
yes.
and
Georgia Freed,
Georgia,
who grew up out
yeah,
here.
Georgia is in there.
Well,
and
her name is Georgia
Georgia Warner, right?
Warner,
And,
yes.
Yeah, Chris Ambrosiano, who plays Cripple Billy, and Joe Pallister, who
Oh,
is,
he's incredible, yes.
is a guy who, and Tom Guston is in the cast, and Janet
Yes.
Sarno, and it's a really nice company.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's going to be fabulous. And then after that, you have Tony Walton involved in the next
later
production.
in the summer, in
Right.
July, we
Yes.
open. Tony Walton is directing a series of short Noel Coward plays called Tonight at 8:30. These are little frothy, playful, sweet vignettes, little comedies with music that Tony, who last directed Equus here in 2010, is back to direct. Blythe Danner is starring, along with Simon Jones, who's a very celebrated Broadway and film actor from London. Also, Edward Hibbert is in the cast, and a number of other actors from the community as well. And that opens July 20th and runs for 3 weeks until the first weekend in August. And
Yes.
I think that's going to be a treat. These plays are each funny little gems, and even
Yeah.
though they were written in the 30s, they're still absolutely razor sharp. And we were listening to a read-through with Blythe and Simon in the city and cracking up while they were at the table just playing with it. So she's such a talent too.
Isn't
she's
she?
really,
Yes, yes.
really a treat to get her back on our
Does
stage.
she live out here
She has a house
part-time?
in East Hampton.
She does,
yeah.
yes.
And has done some readings here in the past. And
Yes,
we
last
sort
year, I
of reached
remember.
out to her to say, is there anything you might like to do? And she said, you know, I did at Williamstown these Noel Coward shorts a few years ago. I'd like to do them again. And I said,
So this was her
that's
baby,
sort of,
kind of.
well, she had mentioned it, and I said, well,
yeah.
that's funny because Tony Walton has been speaking to me over the years about this very series of plays. He's often said, we must do Coward at Guildhall. It's the perfect fit. And we've always been waiting for the timing to sort of align. And the stars have done that for us
Yes.
this summer.
And now were these written to be performed together?
Yes, by Noel Coward
Okay.
and Gertrude Lawrence. He
Yes.
actually wrote 10 short plays. And there's a funny anecdote that they would do them around in different theaters on the West End. And they would do different plays every night. It would be Tonight at 8:30, but they decided the day of which of the short plays
how
they wanted to do
fun.
that evening, which must have made the production people go crazy.
Right,
We're just
right.
doing the three, Red Peppers and Hands Across the Sea and
Right.
Family Album, but there's about 10 of them that he wrote that
Yeah.
could be all played in sync.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Now, I want to compliment you on your voice.
Oh, thank you.
You have an amazing voice. Did you get that from studying the classics? Because you're quite a Shakespearean actor yourself.
Well, my first training is as an actor, yes.
Yes.
So I went to Circle in the Square in New York and studied for a few years there, and
Yeah.
had a lot of vocal work, a lot of Linklater method work that we
Yes.
did, yeah.
Right, well, it sure comes across.
Oh, thank you.
So, getting back to your agenda, we have a few minutes left to hear about all the rest of the season that
Well,
you
it's
might
very
have
busy.
things
Besides the two
planned.
plays, yeah,
Yes.
we've got a number of excellent concerts coming up, including two-time Grammy winner Taj Mahal is appearing with the great soul singer Betty LaVette. We've got Wynton Marsalis coming to play. We've got the Orchestra of St. Luke's, the St. Luke's Chamber Ensemble. coming up in August.
Something for everyone.
Patti
All
Smith, the
tastes.
rock and
Patti
roll legend,
Smith, right.
is going to be here
With
on
her
the
daughter,
Labor
Jessie.
Day weekend.
Yes.
Yep. And we've got Laurie Anderson, who has a house out here in Springs,
yes.
is going to be
And was
performing an
honored
evening
by
with
Guildhall
honored
at
by
the
Guildhall
Academy.
and
Yes.
plays often at BAM and around the world.
Yes. Is Patti, she's not from out here in any
Patti
way,
Smith,
is she?
no, I think she
Yes.
spends some time in the Hamptons,
Yes.
but she's not, doesn't live out here.
No, no.
But it's
Yeah.
a
She's
treat
a
that we
Greenwich
got her to
Village
come
girl.
back.
Yeah.
We're really excited about that. And,
Yeah.
and we've got Audra McDonald, of course, is our season opener on July 6th, five-time
Yes.
Tony winner, and that was a great get. We were so happy
Porgy
that
and
she was
Bess.
available
Yeah.
just for Porgy and Bess, sure. So that'll be, I think, a spectacular evening. And we've got a number of play readings that are coming up. There's a new comedy called The Whisper, starring Jennifer Tilly, that we're going to be reading. We have Celebrity Autobiography is coming back for its third season this year. It's got featuring Christy Brinkley and Dick Cavett and Brooke Shields and again Jennifer Tilly and Tova Felch
Brooke
and
Shields.
the original Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. So it'll be a fun cast for that.
And then
Out
you
in-
have a Patty Watt production?
yeah, there's an evening with the Astairs, which
Oh,
is
yes,
starring
that's
Anna
right.
Bergman and
Yes, she's
Jennifer
lovely.
Sheehan and Leroy Reams, and that's a lovely evening of American
Yeah.
Songbook and Cabaret. We always have to have some of that in our lineup.
Yeah,
but
and
we
we
also
miss
have
Lee Davis.
Lee
Yeah.
Davis, of course. But we're also trying to appeal to a little bit of a younger demographic. That's why we're
Yes.
doing Classic Albums Live, which is an evening of Abbey Road and the Beatles, played by
That's
this
right.
band from
That's
Toronto,
right.
note for note,
Yeah.
cut for cut, really interesting. We have the Doo-Wop Project coming back with the stars of Broadway's Jersey Boys. That was sold out last year, sort of backed by popular demand.
And we adore Marshall
year.
Brickman around here.
Oh yes, and Alec Baldwin will
And
be
Alec
back with his
Baldwin.
hosting the Summer Docs film series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's, I think I've maybe covered about
Have
half
you?
of what's coming up.
I thought you were going to say I've covered it all.
No,
And
there's a lot more. Well, there's all the Kid Fest series, and there's Chef series and reading series, and more play readings, and the Upright Citizens Brigade. And in June, the Tony winner Rene Auberjonois is bringing his one-man show here
Really?
called Big Bad Wolf.
Oh my gosh, I did read about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's
Yeah.
more. I know we're running out of time, so.
We are.
But
so
hopefully people will visit our website and see everything
this
that's
is just
coming
a
up.
little taste.
A little taste.
A little taste, the appetizer. But the full course is on its way to you. So do come and join Josh and his incredible creations that he brings for all of our pleasure. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks,
You're the
Michelle.
best.
Thank you.
you.